welcome everybody to the final CHT Roundup of 2025. Great to see everybody here, finishing the year strong. We've got a solid agenda to get through today, so I don't want to wait any longer here. We have a rundown, greatest hits of 2025. Mr. Jones, over to you.
Great. Thanks, Josh. Hello, I'm Ashley Jones, Developer Relations Engineer. I'm based in the US, and as Josh said, we're going to be walking through 4.16 through 5.1, just highlights, so not everything. In each release, there's actually quite a few more technical fixes, security fixes, so we're really touching on 1 to 3 highlights per release. And as Josh said, maybe if you're on an earlier version, you can look forward to upgrading in the coming year. Next slide, please. So in 2025, we had a real big focus on community participation and delivering features that deployments actually are going to use. So this is a list of everyone that either delivered a full-blown feature, delivered a code comment, delivered some documentation, any part of the CHT that the community saw activity in. This is the list. And this is really important because we want to be delivering impact and we want to deliver features that are going to be taken up. And the way we can ensure this is have direct involvement from the community. So I really want to stress that it's really wonderful to see so many people on this list. And we're so appreciative of the time that folks give the CHT. Any one contribution is, of course, open source, so everyone gets to benefit from that one contribution. I'm not going to highlight each feature and which person, so if this list is, keep it in your mind as we go through and talk about the different features that are in each different version.
Maybe
and as well, oh, Josh, yeah, please.
Right, actually, just to jump in to emphasize too that that's a list of everyone outside of medic. There's no medic people on this list. So take this list, add medic people to it, and you have the total. But this is just people from outside the organization. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's an important point. Thank you, Josh. Yeah, there is extensive folks inside of medic, of course, working on this, but that's our job. So this is other folks from the community who it may be their job to work on their EHS deployment or they're with the Ministry of Health, or it may not be, maybe a full-on volunteer. Yeah, thanks again, Josh. Okay, next slide. We can jump into the versions themselves. So starting at the beginning of the year in January, CHT 4.16 introduced Couch 3.4.2. This is an upgrade from an earlier version of Couch, which brought not only faster execution of Couch, but also brought Couch Nouveau, which is going to be leveraged at a later date. This is a little premonition for what's coming up in CHT 5. It also brought about Arabic translations. This was in preparation for the right-to-left support that we'll see in a later version. Speaking of later versions, next slide. In CHT 4.17, which was in February, we introduced the requirement to change passwords on first login. This can be a permission given to a group. So if you don't want folks to have to go through this flow, you can opt out for now. But it's an important security improvement that tries to really fight the common feature of a massive list of CHWs and their password being right there. We had some concerns that this wasn't a best practice. So by implementing the change password on first login, then the CHW can choose a password. It has to meet some security requirements, but then that makes the list of passwords floating around in the central office no longer as insecure. Next slide, please. CHT 4.18 came out in March, and now that we had Arabic translations in place, it's time to put them to use. So we deployed full right-to-left support. This, of course, supports any other languages that are right to left as well. Just need to provide the translation file for that. It also supports unlimited, configurable replication depth. So for deployments that have a very high hierarchy, there's some issues with needing to reach down as a supervisor and being able to configure which of the layers below in the hierarchy that you want to replicate up to you. So this offers some more configuration. And CHT 418 and 419 had some improvements around working with TextIt and Rapid Pro. This is the same commercial and nonprofit offering to ensure that the headers work correctly. Again, really great input from the community on these features that help drive their development. Next slide, please. 419, which came out in May, saw this wonderful duplicate contact workflow where when you're creating a new contact, you can use the Liechtenstein distance to make sure that there's maybe not a contact that's so similar that maybe it's the same one. And this can avoid a duplicate contact being created in the system. And then if you think about having registries integrated for interoperability, this can really help tamp down the number of extra contacts that are created dynamically. And this feature works offline in the scope of what the CHW can see. As I mentioned before, we had some TextIt fixes for the user agents, which was a requirement for TextIt that it be set, which the CHT hadn't set. And 419 was a high watermark, where on this one release, we had 15 contributors, 8 of which were outside of Medic. And those were folks that worked directly on different features that were in this version. And it's just really great to see. We're really appreciative of the community showing up and helping out with these releases. Thank you. Next slide, please. All right, CHT 420, which came out in June, saw the storage pressure indicator. This is a little, as you can see, display of your storage availability, and it's available in the hamburger menu in the CHT. We had some issues with CHWs having application performance problems because they were running out of disk space. So while you can run telemetry and try to figure out if there's a report and wait for that telemetry to get back to the system, and then maybe you're running Couch to PG or CHT Sync to be able to gather these statistics, it's very easy for the CHW just to click the hamburger menu and see that storage, and this can exert the pressure on the upper bounds of it, and they can know that this is a concern that they should address. CHT 420, oh, go back please, we have one more. Also saw single sign-on, which was a OIDC workflow support, and I'm hoping that Raphael has a moment to chat on this. I'm not sure if he's on the call.
Yeah, available.
Wonderful, Raphael, thank you.
Yes. So during June this year, we had a privilege to CHT within the SSO school. We were able to come up with the single sign-on feature, which are really helpful, especially in cases where like, the CHW being logged out after a very short period of time. So with a single sign-on, it has helped us to enable these clinical workers so as to use the email address and be able to log in within the CHT application. And with this, we're able to meet the various security standards that are being stipulated within the ICRC. So currently, the SSO feature is being used in Somali, and we've been able to deploy it across around 40 clinics. And we have had a privilege to expand the feature to Afghanistan, whereby new clinicians and doctors are able to use the CHT application so as to treat children below 5 years and also children below 2 months. And also, at the moment, last week we were able to deploy the feature to Libya, whereby we're enrolling new clinics so that they can be able to utilize the single sign-on. It's a great feature, and also it really eases a lot of maintenance issues when it comes to the system administrators in cases whereby, the CHW forgot their password. The single sign-on will just pick up all the details from their browser, especially their email address, and then be able to grant them access to the application. So thank you so much, Mehdi, for helping us achieve this feature. And it's really helpful.
Oh, wonderful, Raphael. Thanks so much. And so impressive to hear how far-reaching that deployment feature has gone. That's amazing and great to hear about its success. And really echoing Raphael's comments about all the additional features that single sign-on brings. So not just the added security, but then the forgot password flow, and all the different configurations that each deployment can enable through single sign-on. Great to hear. Thanks again, Raphael. All right, next slide, please. Okay, CHT 421 came out in June, and we added much more feature-rich contact summary, which helps with digital payments and I believe stock monitoring in Aegis Kenya, along with anyone else, again, who wants to use the ability to really populate this contact summary with a lot more data from related information coming in to the contact. And task prioritization was also added, the ability to change the way the tasks are ordered in the list based off of a number of different inputs. And I'm hoping Abbas is on the call who can speak to this feature. There's too many tiles for me to look through to see.
Hello?
Ah, there you are. Yes, hello.
Yeah, I hope you can hear me.
Sounding good.
Yeah, so before the introduction of task prioritization, the Jamini Afya app, which is using the CHT platform, functioning primarily as decision support tool for community health volunteers during household visit. So the focus was only by providing health education, conducting screening, but also supporting follow-up for pregnant women and children under 5. So at this stage, prioritization was not part of the service delivery model. And once a client was registered, the system automatically generated a standard visit schedule, regardless of individual need or risk level. After the introduction of client prioritization, right now it is automated within the Gemini Afya system. The task prioritize requirement based on the importance, but also proximity due to the due dates, but also individual patient risk factor. So how does the client prioritization it does work? Once a health assessment is completed, prioritize the task appear at the top of the task list, but also the community health workers receive notification to remind them of high priority task. Each clearly labels as a high priority. After each visit, the prioritized task is automatically updated. This is based on the CHW information that are entering over time. So this has led to benefits. One of them include faster decision making, whereby the community health worker can easily identify most urgent tasks without manual sorting. But also it has reduced the errors and bias. Automated prioritization. It has limited the errors and minimized the influence of personal preference by ensuring high risk clients received timely care. But also, in addition to that, it has improved the quality of care by prioritizing this task to better support the decision making, but also enhancing the overall quality and timelines of community health service that have been delivered here in Zanzibar. Thank you.
I I knew what folks were going to say, but it's so rewarding to hear these features being used so successfully in the communities that they were developed for. Thanks so much for that update. Okay, on to 422. Next slide, please. 422, I think maybe it was a relatively small release, but an important one, which allowed easier integration with the SMS gateway in Nepal. So we do support integrations with things like Textit or Rapid Pro for a generic integration, but we also have bespoke integrations for some of the different telco operators, including Africa's Talking. And in this case, we added support for a key one that, now that I say it, may have actually been involved with some of the work that Lal was talking about, but I'm not sure of the different geographies and who was using what. Next slide, please. Okay, CHT 5.0 just came out last month. I'm going to cover 3 topics, which is the faster sync. This leverages CouchDB's Nouveau feature, which you remember at the top was one of the upgrades that we got earlier. And this allows faster sync by using Nouveau. When you reduce the time to sync, you reduce the server cycles, the number of CPU that need to be put towards serving those. So that means that the CPU can breathe more and has more time to either serve more CHWs, right? Or you can just have a server that's not as overwhelmed and maybe able to keep up with the current load. So this is a way of both improving day-to-day lives of folks that are, trying to synchronize to the CHT, but also improving the total cost of ownership because admins don't have as much load on their servers. We also introduced the welcome window. This is uses tasks to introduce new administrators to the CHT, talking about how to load data, how to change your configuration. We had some input from the community that it was a little unclear as to how to engage with the CHT once you've done an installment, especially in a development environment when you've never seen the CHT and you've got it set up for the first time. CHT5 also reduces the disk space requirements, and I'm hoping Elijah is available to speak to this feature.
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everyone. I hope I'm audible. Yes, thank you. My name is Elijah. I'm a developer at Medic, and we have a national scale deployment in Kenya, which has more than 50 instances. So insights on reducing the cost of ownership for all these instances is very, very helpful. And with the release of CHT version 5, we got started on experimenting with an upgrade on one of the instances. And the result of that experiment was that at the beginning of the test, the instance was taking up 458 GB, and then by the end of the experiment, the instance was taking up 368 gigabytes. So that's a reduction of 20% of disk space usage. And when you take that into account over all the instances, the more than 50 instances, currently they consume 184 TBs. So if you can get 20% savings on all of them, that would translate to more than 36 TB savings. So the journey towards this discovery is documented in a CHT core issue, and I'll paste it in the chat window so that anyone who is interested can follow along with the discoveries that were being made at each stage, and possibly add insights on your experience as well. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Elijah. Really great to hear about the potential impact across such a large deployment, so much disk savings. I'll point out that we don't know exactly how much savings this feature garners. So you may see a lower bounds that's below 20%. You may see an upper bounds. The upper bounds that we saw was 33%. So you could see just a little bit more than that, but you should expect some solid double-digit percentage savings on disk space. All right. Thanks again, Elijah, for the update there. That's right, Josh. Time to check to find out how much savings to be on 5.0. So far, no production deployments on 5.0 that I know of. Only the Medic demo instance is the only one that I know of. We keeping our little spies out there looking at who's upgrading. Okay, last slide, please. So it's not out yet, but CHT 5.1 is scheduled to come out. We're very much hoping this will happen next week. And this is going to add Android notifications. These are native notifications to Android. I've taken a little screenshot from Google developer notes on how to implement Android notifications. So ignore if you can see what's in there, but more importantly, these will be notifications for the CHW to be pulled into the CHT to tend to a task. And as well, we're going to have, Deanna, you swooped in and changed at the last minute. Thank you so much. Deanna and I were corresponding to get an accurate screenshot here. But the little bubble that shows how many outstanding tasks are, overdue tasks are need to be tended to is the feature that we're going to add in 5.1. So that way, again, it's more easy for folks to push into care that is needed. All right, with 1 minute to spare, I hand it back to Josh, and if anyone has any quick questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thanks, Ashley and company, for the tour de force there. I'm going to land us real quick here at the end with a few community updates. Those of you active on the forum have probably already seen the squad contributor badges go live. This is just a little badge of recognition for members of the community that have participated in some of these development squads over the year. And so you should be able to kind of see that linked on your public profile there. Next slide, please. What's next? Here we're landing the end of the year here, and so we're still running squad meetings next week. If you're interested in jumping on a squad meeting, we'll be around. And then we're kind of breaking for the end of the year, and we'll be back January 8th for that next roundup. Get excited for kind of all of the big things that are going to be coming in 2026. I know there's a number of people I've talked to that as they log off for the end of the year are already planning to spend some time like brainstorming on what's next. So we will be back in January. And with that, thank you very much to everyone who presented. Thank you, everybody, for your 2025 contributions, various ways to the CHT. I hope everybody has a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and all of the things. And we'll see you next year.